Hey everyone, it's a very rainy day here and I'm loving it. So I just thought I'd sit down and think a little bit about this theme of the concert series that I'm about to embark on, Into the Forest, and share a little bit with you about why we decided to call it that. First, an obvious reason. I'm thinking it's going to be the name of the new EP that's going to be coming out, but I'll share more about that later. Forests have always been places that I found a lot of shelter and comfort. There were many forests near my home where I grew up, and I would go for walks and go into them on happy mornings, sad mornings when I felt distressed. I remember so many different times in those spaces that became very sacred and special to me. And I always felt a spiritual connection. Obviously, I mean, for those who find that spiritual connection in nature, it's obvious. But I did feel a spiritual connection in those places, surrounded by trees. And this is something that has been known about for millennia. People would go to meditate, to get closer to themselves, to get closer to the divine in places of nature, particularly forests and on riverbanks. And I remember one time, many years ago, in a forest in upstate New York, I was there for a retreat at this, I think it's called the Menlo Mountain Retreat Center, and there's an incredible forest there. And I was there for a retreat where a great bhakti teacher, His Holiness Sachinandan Swami, was going to be speaking. And one day I was about to walk into the forest, and he was just walking out of the forest. And he said that if you want to connect with God, you have to enter the temple of nature. So this always stuck with me. And there's some wonderful writings and poetry about about nature as a temple. One wonderful quote which really inspired this name in particular is from the environmentalist John Muir, who said, it's a famous quote, he said, "Into the forest I go to lose my mind and find my soul." And that's been on my mind for at least the past year, because I have experienced that going into nature brings me into connection with my soul. But then I was thinking about this in terms of the forest as a metaphor. The forest has been a place of such beauty and shelter, and sometimes as I would go into the forest and hear the songs of the birds, I would start to envision that there's actually a forest in my heart. And just as the birds sing in the forest, within my heart, there's always songs, different songs, vibrating, songs of devotion. And if we just tune into it, if you just listen to the birds, if you just tune into that sound, there's a very profound experience to be had. So the theme of the concert is Into the Forest for some obvious reasons, but also to encourage an understanding that through this pathway of sacred sound, we can enter into that forest within, that you don't necessarily have to go to a geographical forest, that there is a sacred, still, peaceful, beautiful, nourishing, vibrant, alive space inside where beautiful sound vibration always plays, that we can plug in, make that connection, and lose the mind and find the soul. So I'm really hoping that you're going to come to one of the concerts in these 5 cities. Really looking forward to sharing some of the new songs as well from this EP or this collection with you. Hope you enjoyed that little explanation. I'd love to hear what you think.